Good morning to you all. First of all, I'd like to congratulate for the organization. It's very inspiring to be here by the sea, listening to the wind. So it's a pleasure for me as a dean and as researcher also on these subjects to be with you. I'd like to invite my speakers that integrate the roundtable to come here and be with us for this. I won't be giving many contributions. I'd like to hear the others, okay? So, thank you. Please. Okay.
Sit together.
Okay.
That way when you're looking sideways, you don't have to look both ways.
Sorry, I'm not so used
It's wonderful. No, this is very, very, very informal. Okay.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, I will be presenting them, but I'd like to give you some brief words to make a framework for our subject of today. So I'm a teacher, so I always need some support. I wasn't really sure how to address this topic, but I went to check some documents, international documents, what is supposed to do to become a learning region. So the challenge will be that. What do we need to do more in the Algarve to become more a learning region than we are? We know that there are some pillars that include investment on education, that include attracting research and development from outside the region. And that's why I think they choose these speakers. They will address some words about this. And forging of intra and interregional networks of innovation enterprises. It's not very usual to speak about education and enterprises, but we usually at our school, we do it because we always have enterprises involved on our classes, as invitees, as giving us some trainings, as participating on everything we do. So these are some of the three main pillars involving learning regions. But I'd like to hear you all. The question that will be addressed is how can we be a better learning region and how can we create a better engagement with all the community? Because learning and teaching and educating is not only about schools, it's about communities also. And how can we take our community to our side and make our university, it was here, Ugu also, our university to become a more active agent on this learning region. For that, I have with me, or we have with us, and I will be presenting them with brief words, with my mobile phone that is my help. We have Stewart Noakes here on the center. He is a serial entrepreneur, founder, coach, mentor, and non-executive director with a passion for supporting talented startup founders. And so on and so on. We have Ana Roque Dantas. Well, we have parity here in these roundtables. Very good, very good. So Ana is responsible for all institutional relations, impact management, and project management at TUMO, a new project. I'm sure she will be talking about this new project. And as part of Shaken Not Starred, she holds a PhD in sociology from the University of Nova Lisboa, Nova Business School, I think. No, something like that. Nova University, where she taught at various academic levels and worked in research for several years. And we have also with us Américo. Last minute he was talking as I'm here for me, but he is representing Américo Mateus. He's a lecturer, a researcher, a mate, a colleague from the private sector, the University of at Portimão, where we are also, and he is the director of Transdisciplinary Research Center for Lusophone Education, and I'm sure he will be very, very interesting and challenging on his speak. So, how can we be a better learning region? I think ladies first, so please, Anna.
It's working? Yeah. Thank you. Hello, good morning to everybody. Thank you so much for this invitation to be here. As I represent a group of people that starting doing projects on education for several years with the Nova SB new campus in Carcavelos. And then we opened the 42 School, which is a programming school in Lisbon. And now in the last year, we've opened a new center of technology and creativity, which is called TUMU. I don't know if you ever heard of it. TUMU is it's a center for extracurricular activities for students aged between 12 and 18 years old. And it's completely free of charge for students. Since it's sponsored by public and private investments. And we promote activities for students after school in the intersection of technology and arts or design, namely robotics, game development, but also music, animation, design, and so on. So students go after school to meet to learn about this new about this tech skills, but also to learn how to learn. It's also to engage with other students, understand how to work in collaboration, to develop critical thinking, and so on. So we like to say that we have like a hidden agenda. We give students technical skills, but we want them to learn soft skills that will empower them to for their future and to be able to change regions, communities where they're integrated. So we opened TUMU a year ago in Coimbra. We have 1,000 students in Coimbra that each week go to the center and learn about these activities. And we've opened in Lisbon like 2 weeks and a half. And it's so far we have 900 students. We aim to go as far as 1,000, and it's working really well. And we believe that it's through education and through a new way of learning that we can change society and we can improve regions and we can change the way people relate and connect.
Thank you, Anna. I'd like to hear Stewart also about this.
Okay, so I'm British, and usually when you get asked a question, you're supposed to start with a joke. So I will ask you, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? The answer is one, but the light bulb has to want to change. And I think it's the same with learning, and I teach on a master's course. And when you have people that want to learn, it's much easier than people who have to learn. And I think one of the most fundamental things for a region to start learning is to want to do it. If it's happy or settled or complacent with what it's doing, it won't learn that much. But when it does start to learn because it feels it needs to or it wants to, and it opens to that, then it's a cascade that keeps going and going. The other key aspect of learning that I see today is that it's both centralized in organizational areas and decentralized between people. So we can learn very much from each other quicker than we can from institutions and from centralized places, but we learn deeper and with more skill in those centralized areas. And we choose to be in each of those locations for different reasons, but not always in one and not always in the other. And it's the blend and the hybrid nature of that that gives the speed. So I'm a startup founder and I work with startup founders. Usually in the first 3 years, they're learning at a higher cadence than they ever have in any other part of their lives. because they're learning how to not fail, how to read the market, how to do things they've not done before, and how to take an uncertain thing into an uncertain world and hopefully do it quickly with money at the end of it. So they learn very fast because they want to. And they do a lot of peer things. So if they came into this room today, if you're a founder in this room, you've probably talked to another founder and you've probably asked them how they're doing something like raise money. And you've gained from that experience as much as any course, any MBA, any university thing that you would have done. But I teach at university and I teach entrepreneurship at university, but I teach it with models that I needed when I was an entrepreneur and didn't even know they existed. So I now at a greater depth with that and I can help other founders. So my 2 points are really, a region can learn fast if it wants to, if it's open to it, and if it mixes the centralized and the decentralized approaches.
Thank you, Stewart. Américo, we already heard that the culture of learning, we need to have it. So how can we have that culture of learning more widespread in our region?
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to come to the Algarve Summit and share my thoughts. As Professor said, I represent the private university sector in the Algarve, but essentially I represent myself. I'm 54 years old. I know how to think to my head, so that's why I said I represent to myself. Concerning the question and following, especially Professor Stewart, what is the future of the Algarve as a learning region? None. No future. We don't want to be a learning region, as you said. If we wanted to be a learning region, there would be a governance that would know what is a learning region, that would have the structure and the policies to run for it. We don't have. We have a governance in the regional governance that thinks one person, two persons by themselves, they know what we need. And so that is not how to become a learning region. We don't depend on guys that are illuminated, seated in the politician seats and thinking they know what we want. So it's impossible. We have no future as a learning region, while CCDR, for example, thinks they know, the president knows what Algarve should be. That's absolutely wrong. So no future on it. Then we don't have a society that wants to be a learning region. We don't have companies, we don't have citizens with a mentality to become a learning region. Why? Because there is no sense of urgency. The people that are seated in the tourism industry, they don't need to learn anything. Our masters are not full of people. They know everything. So if you know everything, you don't want to be a learning region. You say, why? My business is running. Yes, maybe my prices are going low, but that's not a problem. I fired more people and I still have profits. So my God, the ecosystem doesn't want to become a learning region. So I'm sorry, that's the truth. Third, why society of the Algarve doesn't want to become a learning region? Because we have lots of European projects in our university, in the Algarve University. We have events of dissemination. Who we have participating? Experts from city councils? No, they don't have time to learn with what is done in the best of European project. Do we have politicians in our events? No. Do we have citizens? No. We have our students, and we have 100 people that we can bring from outside the Algarve, from international, from all the countries to come and learn with our projects. So we don't have a future as a learning region because we don't want to. And if you don't want to, if you don't know in governance how you can implement it, it's a dead effort. So I can have 3 or 4 European projects becoming, as I am, coordinating or 2 or 3 on circular economy and sustainability and biodesign. Am I changing anything in the region? No. Nobody goes to the events. Nobody wants to become too heard about biodesign. They don't think they need, because of course you just open a store and you have clients and you have lots of sales, which is not, then you have to close the shop 3 months afterwards. So no mentality for it. We have no sense of urgency, no mentality, and our students prefer to work 6 months taking coffees and 6 months unemployment, receiving the unemployment fee, that working themselves and their asses on to become learners and to become somebody in their life. That's the scenario, I'm sorry. Is it changing? Yes, very slowly. Mainly because the politician do not want to change, because it's better to say, I have the money, I'm the God, I can distribute the money for you to be at home than to do something for the region. So I'm sorry for it. And I'm doing this at 54 years old. I'm from the Algarve. I came back here 5 years ago to change, and I work as a hell to change, and I cannot change as much as I wanted. So maybe I changed 3 or 4 people, maybe I changed 3 or 4 companies, entrepreneurs. I'm happy, but that is not my mission. My mission and our mission in the universities is to research, is to teach, is to create courses for the future. We created a course on creative technologies. We created a course on data science. We created a course on master for bio-design and for circular economy. We have no students. Okay? And we are much cheaper, even being private, than going to Lisbon to study or to Oporto, because we just cost 300 euros per month, and a house and a bedroom in Lisbon costs 1,000 euros. So if people don't want to change, we do our job and we open our doors. We have experts, and we hope people can, for somehow, think, maybe I need to change my life. We are here, Universidade do Algarve are here doing a great job to support people who want to change, not the other ones. Sorry.
Thank you, Américo. I think he deserves some claps because in Portuguese, we have some words that we can translate in English that we say, we can see the glass half full or half empty. I think we need to say it more half full today, Américo. We are here to do it. I think we are able to change, and we are leaders, and so we can change this community of learning, and we have some capacities, abilities of new infrastructures that are coming, that are being built, and that will help us change families, enterprises, and give us some hope that something will happen. It takes time. It takes time. I think it always, these things like cultural, I'm from tourism and cultural sectors, they always take too much time sometimes. We like to see things in the immediate, but it's not always so easy like that. So we need human capital qualified. This is one of the first pillars for the developing regions. So we need to continue doing our work and believing. And so I'd like to ask for some suggestions for this engagement of not only of the enterprises, because as we heard, we need them also to believe on this changing, but from communities, families, because one of our problems is that it's much more easy to go for the summer and work at a restaurant or a bar and earn some money for 6 months, but for the winter, they all go back home to their families, and the youngsters are not working or doing much. So we need to change mentalities, and families and education are a great way to do it. So I'd like to hear some contributions on that, please. Help us.
Okay, so I also believe that to change mentalities, we need to start with the youth, and as soon as possible. When students reach university, if they reach university, thank you, they already have their mindsets and the way they see life and things. So we need to start working with them earlier. And that's what we propose. We want to start enthusiasm students with things they haven't learned yet. Our proposal is to mix students from different social backgrounds in order to change their aspirations and the way they see things. If a student, if a young or teenager that doesn't have or aims to work during summertime and take holidays during winter time, starts being confronted with different expectations about life, with people that want to do things, that want to go to the university, that see life differently, they can be contagious, but they can be involved in that plan and change the way they build things. So I believe personally that we need to invest a lot in education, and since a young age. And investing in education is not just in the traditional education, it's in a new way of learning, get students involved with challenges and solving problems and feeling that they are a part of the solution and not just being there at school doing because it's they have to. So we need to improve the way students learn and help them to love to learn, to be involved in learning. So I think it's true that it's not only, but if students love to learn and they go home and excited about it, they will also change families and then communities. Thank you.
Stewart?
Chair, I'm going to ask your permission for something. I'm going to be a little bit British, but a little bit American at the same time. So my apologies, okay? So I'm going to set a challenge to everybody here, which is the power of 20 minutes, okay? I want you to think about what you could achieve in learning in 20 minutes. And if you did that every day for 7 days, what you would have achieved by the end of that week. And if you did that every day for a month, what you would have achieved for that. So that's my British piece. Now I'm going to exemplify that with a bit of Americanism. Okay, so here we go. George, you have a superpower. What is your superpower? Please stand up and tell everybody, what is your superpower?
Well, I gotta give it a minute of thought, but I guess connecting could be my superpower. Yeah.
George is an epic connector. Okay, anybody here want to know about connecting? 20 minutes with George over coffee is incredibly well spent. You will learn from a master about connecting across boundaries, across cultures, across industries, and he can teach you things that I don't know how to do. Go and spend 20 minutes with him. Hello, ma'am. What's your superpower?
My is, I would think, leadership, international connections with teams. Yes. Hi.
So who needs leadership? This is the lady to come to. She can teach you in 20 minutes an amazing amount of things. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to pick on somebody else. No, you look too happy. I think I'm going to take somebody who feels all good. No, you look good. Come on, you're American. Stand on up. Okay, sir, what is your superpower?
Visualization.
What the heck does that mean?
I'm going to talk about it later, but it's helping people to visualize what it is they want to try to accomplish, whether it's from an urban planning standpoint for a city or as individuals in business.
So much. All right. So if you want to know about visualization, 20 minutes spent with this guy or come to his talk, you're all good. You don't need to go to university. You just need to wake up and want to do it. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. 3 months from now, you'll be different human beings. Okay.
There you go.
Very well, very well. Thank you.
Okay, now I was aware that I have to speak in positive ways. It's very easy to speak in positive ways after Stewart. Stewart represents and made a physical and tangible representation what we need to shift in our region in order to achieve the goals we want as a learning education. That is bottom up. The positive is we can forget the governance, we can forget the president of CCDR, and we can do it by ourselves. Algarve Tech Up are doing, we are doing with our international conference, and University of Algarve are doing. And so small steps, stepstones, baby steps, we can change. And that is something that we are allowed to do, as we were very shown here. Just create an ecosystem bottom up. And I think this event is one of the best examples how we do it. And we have to be also, we can make an anchor of the chief we need as a learning region. If we take people that came and choose to live here and do their lives here, and they play their role in this bottom-up ecosystem, as we shown here, that we have lots of skills that came to live and to work in our region. That is the basis of our future learning ecosystem, which you need. We are far away from companies and knowledge, and as Stewart shown, is not only university knowledge, is all types of knowledges, and this bridge needs to be shortened. And the way by doing is everybody that has a role to play, they decide to play a role, as we are doing here, as Stewart shown us. This needs to be built bottom up and very fast, because it implies a cultural change. So, as the example of the psychologist, it's very difficult to change culture, but we need to change it by examples. So any positive change, any positive starting example of what is a learning region ecosystem, it's the one that will be seen by the others who have more difficulties to make a step forward to change. So more examples of this kind of summits. Just a final note, which is technology is really important, but so the other skills. And if you see the OCDE and the other studies about future skills that are needed, most of them are creativity and critical thinking, which is also so important as technology. So not only innovation technology hub, but an hub on the Algarve, which is people with critical thinking and creative thinking together to overcome the problems and the complexities of the world we live today. We can do it. We have the natural geographic place to do it. We are naturally attractive for people and learners and knowledgeers and people who know things to come here and to share with us and to help creating this ecosystem. We just need to do more initiatives and some, maybe not only at summits, but also involving real life situations, real life citizens, real life problems, because the only way to do it, and that's my final remark, it's not only by collaborating, but from cooperating, which is more than collaborating, and we can only do it in a participative way. So politicians has to be stewards. They have to get up of their places, go to the citizens and help the citizens to understand their powers, and how their powers can connect like Google collectively to change the region. So that's
Many thanks. So I'd like, first of all, to thank you all for this contribution, and really, I'm glad because we stay with a positive perspective of this learning region, and I would like to end asking if you would like to add anything else. If not, please, Stewart.
If I could share one thing which is running through my head a lot at the moment as we come towards the Web Summit, I'm reminded of a guy called João Vasconcelos, who, when he was part of the team that brought Web Summit to Portugal, he said he wanted to inspire a new generation of entrepreneurs in Portugal. And he said a very important thing, which I paraphrase a little bit, but he said, be brave, be bold, build back Portugal. And when he become an entrepreneur and build that startup, and when he said that, he was giving a lot of cultural cover. Like, come here and do the thing that's scary, and not just scary for you, but scary for your family when they watch you do it. And I think the cultural cover that he gave then is massive, and maybe cultural cover for the region in terms of learning and growing and being different. There needs to be somebody who gives that cultural cover and that kind of light that says it's okay. Not just okay, it's what we really want you to do.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to sum up some of the ideas and say that this is really an ongoing process, a complex process, an holistic process. So we need everyone to become a more learning education territory. But there are some other studies and research that already identified what we need to do. So to sum up, everything is going out. Okay. We need to promote inclusive learning from basic to higher education. We need to facilitate learning for and in the workplace. So enterprises, please do it. Extend the use of modern learning and technology learning in everywhere. Enhance quality and excellence in learning. Foster a culture of learning throughout our lives. All lifelong learning is very important. And the end and the final message, we need to revitalize learning in families and communities. And that's what we are doing here today. Many thanks.
Thank you. So thank you very much to all of these things. Now you're going to your coffee break. Don't forget your homework. We talked about your homework this morning, and 5 minutes before, so we're going to start at 11:40. So 5 minutes before, you walk leisurely down with your new friends. But before you go, don't you dare move. Before you go, I want you to do something. So you have to obey me exactly, or else it won't work. So please stand up. Okay? Now, as you stand up, please put your right hand out and point forward. Come on, quickly. Hand out, point forward. Now, moving only from the waist, I want you to twist and go round only when I tell you. As far as you can, when it starts hurting, stop and memorize the point that you are pointing at when you reach there. The furthest you can go. Okay, just from your waist. Memorize, look, and memorize. Go. Memorize where you are pointing. Go as far as you can till it hurts, yeah? You're not hurting, guys. Really, do it again properly. Hands out, point from your waist. Go as far as you possibly can till it hurts, right? Memorize that point. Come back. Okay, now, you remember where you were pointing, right? Close your eyes and do it again. Do not open your eyes until I tell you. Point forward. Go as far as you can, as far you can. Once you're there, stay there and open your eyes. You went much further. Everybody went much further. You are very often the block to your own development. So be bold. Take chances. Go out there.